ever pondered upon the sacrifices made by Hasan and Husayn, the grandsons of Prophet Muhammad? Born into a family revered for their wisdom and piety, Hasan and Husayn were the grandsons of Prophet Muhammad, the luminaries who carried forth the sacred lineage of the Prophet. Their early life was rooted in love, spirituality, and an unshakable bond with their grandfather, their guiding light. The Prophet's affection for Hasan and Husayn was boundless. His eyes would light up at their sight. His heart would swell with love. He would often cradle them in his arms, whispering words of wisdom and prophetic teachings into their young, eager ears. These were not mere grandsons to the Prophet. They were the torchbearers of his legacy, the custodians of his teachings. They were the radiant symbols of purity and virtue, the embodiment of the Prophet's spiritual lineage. Their upbringing, steeped in the Prophet's teachings, shaped them into revered figures of Islamic history. Yet their childhood was not all sunshine. The Prophet, with his prophetic foresight, was often heard expressing deep concern for their future. He foresaw the trials and tribulations they would face, the sacrifices they would make. He knew that their journey would be marked by turmoil and strife, but also by resilience and steadfastness. Hasan, the older of the two, was known for his extraordinary patience and forgiveness. He was a mirror image of his grandfather, reflecting the Prophet's teachings of peace and patience. Husayn, on the other hand, was a beacon of courage and resistance. He was a symbol of unyielding faith, embodying the spirit of sacrifice for justice and truth. Together, Hasan and Husayn were the custodians of the Prophet's legacy, the keepers of his teachings. Their early life, though filled with love and wisdom, was not devoid of challenges and prophecies of future trials. The Prophet's words of caution and his prayers for their protection were an integral part of their childhood, shaping them into the revered figures they grew to be. Their childhood was filled with love and wisdom, but also with prophecies of future trials. After the Prophet's death, the Muslim community experienced a period of profound turmoil. This was a time of great uncertainty, a period marred by division and conflict. The unity that the Prophet had so painstakingly built was beginning to fray, and the seeds of discord were being sown. This era was marked by the rise of fitna, or civil strife. The once unified Muslim community was fracturing, splitting along political and ideological lines. The Prophet's greatest fear, the division of his ummah, was becoming a reality. As the community grappled with this new reality, the grandsons of the Prophet, Hasan and Husayn, found themselves at the heart of this upheaval. The Prophet's successors, known as the caliphs, were tasked with guiding the community through this tumultuous period. However, their rule was not without challenge. Each caliph faced opposition, and their reigns were marked by tension and strife. This was a time of struggle and uncertainty, and the Prophet's grandsons were not immune to its effects. Amidst all this, a new figure rose to power, Yazid. His rule was harsh and oppressive, a stark contrast to the compassionate leadership of the Prophet. Yazid sought to consolidate his power by any means necessary, even if it meant using force and intimidation. His reign marked a dark period in Islamic history, a time when the values of justice and compassion were pushed aside in the pursuit of power. As the Muslim community faced these trials, Hasan and Husayn were preparing to step into their roles as custodians of the Prophet's legacy. These two revered figures, beloved by the Prophet and cherished by the community, were about to face trials and tribulations that would test their faith and resilience. The stage was now set for Hasan and Husayn to step into their destined roles. They were about to navigate the tides of political upheaval, stand against oppression, and embody the teachings of their grandfather in a way that would forever be remembered in the annals of Islamic history. A tragic turn of events led to the martyrdom of Hasan. A tale of betrayal, forgiveness, and unwavering faith, the story of Hasan's death is one that stirs the heart and challenges the spirit. Hasan, the beloved grandson of the Prophet, was a beacon of peace in a time of strife. His life was marked by the teachings of his grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad, who instilled in him the values of patience, mercy, and forgiveness. Hasan's story is a testament to these virtues, even in the face of the ultimate betrayal. The seeds of discord had been sown within the Islamic community, leading to a tragic event that would forever change its course. Hasan was poisoned, a plot thought to be orchestrated by his own wife under the influence of the ambitious Muawiyah. Yet, even in the throes of his agonizing death, Hasan chose the path of forgiveness. In a profound act of mercy, Hasan forgave his wife for her part in his demise. He chose not to seek vengeance, but instead to uphold the teachings of his grandfather. His selfless act, even in the face of such personal tragedy, exemplified the true essence of his character. Hasan's death was not in vain. His forgiveness served as a shining example for the Muslim community, a beacon of hope in a time of discord and strife. His martyrdom was a testament to his unwavering faith, his commitment to the teachings of the Prophet, and his dedication to the unity of the Muslim community. The martyrdom of Hasan was a turning point in the history of Islam. It signaled the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter, marked by division and conflict. Yet, through it all, Hasan's legacy of peace, forgiveness, and steadfast faith remained, a beacon of hope amidst the turmoil. The story of Hasan's martyrdom is a poignant reminder of the power of forgiveness, the strength of faith, and the enduring legacy of a man who chose peace over vengeance, unity over division, and faith over despair. Hasan's death marked a turning point in the history of Islam. Husayn's journey to Kufa was fraught with warnings and betrayals. The echoes of the Prophet's fears were now a haunting reality. The sands of time shifted beneath the feet of Husayn as he embarked on a journey that would carve the path of history, a journey that would lead to Karbala. Husayn, the grandson of the Prophet, held the mantle of his legacy. With the pleas of the Kufans ringing in his ears, promising support and allegiance, Husayn set forth from the sanctuary of Mecca. His destination, Kufa, a city filled with hope yet shadowed by deceit. But the journey was not an easy one, fraught with the harsh realities of a divided ummah. The shadow of Yazid's tyranny loomed large. His rule, marked by oppression and disregard for the teachings of the Prophet, had created a chasm within the Muslim community. Yazid sought Husayn's allegiance, a demand that Husayn refused to yield to. For Husayn, this was not a question of power, but of principle. He would not submit to a rule that contradicted the teachings of his grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad. As Husayn moved forward, the terrain grew more treacherous. The once supportive voices of the Kufans began to wane, replaced by silence and betrayal. The support they had pledged was but a mirage in the desert. Yet Husayn remained steadfast, his resolve unshaken. In the face of warnings and betrayals, Husayn had a choice. He could have sought the safety of compromise to avoid the impending conflict. But Husayn was the grandson of the Prophet, the beacon of justice and righteousness. He chose to stand, to resist the tyranny of Yazid. He chose to fight for the principles his grandfather had taught him, principles that were now threatened by Yazid's rule. The journey to Karbala was a path of defiance, of resilience. It was the embodiment of Husayn's commitment to uphold the truth, to protect the legacy of his grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad. Despite the odds, Husayn stood firm, choosing justice over submission. His journey was a testament to his unwavering faith, a testament that would soon be etched in the annals of history with the Battle of Karbala. The Battle of Karbala was a testament to Husayn's unwavering courage. It was a day where the sun scorched the desert and the winds carried the echoes of battle cries. Husayn stood firm, his spirit unyielding. He held his ground against Yazid's forces, a beacon of justice in the face of tyranny. The siege was brutal, a massacre that would etch itself in the annals of history. Husayn, his family, and his followers all faced the harsh edge of the sword, their throats parched from thirst. Yet they refused to yield, to submit to the oppressive rule of Yazid. Each martyr that fell that day in Karbala did so with the name of justice on their lips, but Karbala was not just a battle. It was a manifestation of steadfastness against oppression, a symbol of unyielding courage in the face of injustice. Karbala was not just a battle, it was a stand against oppression, a legacy of sacrifice. The sacrifice of Hasan and Husayn left an indelible mark on the spiritual landscape of Islam. These noble grandsons of Prophet Muhammad, with their pure hearts and unwavering faith, became enduring symbols of the Prophet's legacy. They were the epitome of patience, peace, and forgiveness, even in the face of great adversity. Their lives remind us that the essence of Islam is not power or dominance, but humility, compassion, and the pursuit of justice. They taught us that standing up against tyranny, even when the odds are stacked against us, is a sacred duty. Their martyrdom at Karbala, a poignant testament of their steadfastness, continues to inspire millions to resist oppression and uphold the principles of truth and righteousness. Their story is not just a tale of tragedy, but a saga of spiritual triumph that echoes through the centuries. Their legacy lives on, a beacon of light guiding us towards justice, peace, and unity.